What's up, YouTube? It's Masked Saiyan here, coming at you from the hot UK summer, giving you a deck tag that I've been holding back for a few months now. I had this deck for pretty much ever since Cross Worlds got released, like properly released, in the States, not the delayed release that we got here in the UK. So, without any further ado, let's jump into the Masked Saiyan deck profile that I got for you guys today. Check it out. So we're starting with our leader, the Masked Saiyan. Debatably one of the best leaders that we got in the game. I really think it's a great card. It allows you to basically mill 3 cards from the top of your deck every time, once each turn. And if you mill a black card, he gains a critical. If you mill any other colored cards, then he gets plus 5,000 attack. He's got the old school awakening effect where when you get to 4 life, you get to draw 2 cards, and he flips over to Bardock, Unbound by Darkness. First of all, epic artwork, so massive thumbs up on that. 15k attacker, it keeps the same ability, so you can still mill your deck for 3 cards, still gets the critical, still gets the plus 5000k, and you get to draw a card. So a very simple leader. It pumps itself very easily, it gets critical very easily. So what we're gonna try to do is just build obviously a quick rush type deck around him. I went with black and red because I think keeping it to only a couple of colors makes any deck to be played more simple, more consistently. So we start out with essentially our 1-drops and free drops. We got Saiyan Kaba here, full playset of 4. We really either want to use him to self-awaken if our opponent's holding us back from it, or use him as a late game finisher. We can still play him on turn 1, but that's not always the case, not in the meta that I've seen played in set 3. So there you go, Saiyan Kaba. It's definitely a cornerstone for the deck. And this is a tech choice, guys. I run the 4 Bodyguard Legic. More often than not, he's a free drop. You don't have to pay any mana for it, because a lot of the times with this deck, as you will see, that we only have the Masked Saiyan down, our leader down on the field. Everything else is pretty much going to disappear at the end of our turn. Bodyguard Legic is a free drop, shouldn't cost us any mana, and you get a 15k blocker, which is pretty good for free. So why not take it if you can? And I'm immediately going to jump to the red finishers because I just really want to run through the red battle cards first. So I run 2 Jiran, Fist of Justice. There are really the 3 crucial turns that we play with this deck is turn 1, turn 2, and turn 4. Turn 3 is kind of like still a lot of things happen there, but the game, this deck is geared towards a game where you turn 1 you're trying to get in 3 damage, turn 2 you're trying to get another 2 damage, turn 3 if you can get it in, that's fine. If you can't, turn 4 you should be finishing the game off, getting in the remainder damages to your opponent. And Jiran does a really good job in finishing that off, but to be fair, this deck can operate very much on 2 chi, which makes it very, very sufficient. I was also trying to gear the deck towards a 2 chi cost kind of deck, but I would probably have to miss out on a lot of very good support cards. My definitely favorite card within the finishers is Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan. You get basically a 25k attacker with double strike for 2 chi. More often than not, you're not gonna have more than 3 cards in your hand, so he's gonna come down for 2 mana instead of 4. And when he KOs your opponent's battle card, then he inflicts 2 damage to your opponent as well. So it's just an excellent finisher. So that's what I said. Like in turn 2, we can do some serious damage. Turn 1, turn 2, we should be able to get in 3 damage, 3 damage, and then we should be able to finish the opponent off in turn 3, turn 4 maybe with the remaining damages. If we can, of course, we gotta be very quick. This is it for our red cards that I really consider battle cards. We got 4 counters as a Pride and Justice Topo. I think he's very good to be run in this type of environment. I was going back and forth, playing 2, 3, now I'm stuck with 4. It's nice to have a full suite of counter-attack cards. Of course, he can also be played for 2 chi rather than the 4 if your opponent has a leader with 15k or more power, which happens quite often, to be fair. So he will be only 2 chi cost to play. And when this card KOs your opponent's battle card, you can switch him back to active mode, so you can carry on attacking with him. But more often than not, you will just use him as a 2 power, as a 2 drop counter. And of course, he plays in game, stays in game, which is excellent. Then we run 2 dark plots as well. Again, I am sort of back and forth on this card. Yeah, this is really good once you get to 4 chi, but ultimately the dream with this deck is if you can really navigate through on only playing 2 chis, you get a card advantage through that already. So that's the plan. But if not, you can always lay back and just play your dark plot. Gives you a very good way to bring something back from your warp zone. Obviously, we are going to be using a lot of overrealm, which we are going to get in right now. So I'm going to start to show you guys the Trunks package that we run here. First and foremost, I run 4 Time Patrol Trunks. He's very important because he gives us some crucial card selection that we really want to see with this deck to dig for the cards that we need. So we got a full play set. He's a very easy over round 3. Masked Saiyan gives us that power, so we can drop him, get the little bonus of looking at our 2 cards, picking up 1. The other one goes either stay up to the top or down to the bottom, it doesn't matter. Yeah, very good little digger. Then we got 2 Unrelenting Assault Trunks. He's really nice to have here. We can use him to constantly fuel our hand. He keeps coming back, so we always have a 5k combo card in our hand. When he goes into the warp, he comes back into our hands. And he's also good if we are evolving to Killer Sword Trunks. I still think it's a very good card, although I do know that a lot of people has opted to play with Trunks power over Seeing Time. I'm currently running a 2-3 combination. This, if I get to trade for another Trunks power over Seeing Time, then it's going to be a 3-2 combination. I still want to keep a couple of Killer Sword Trunks because what he gives you, he can always give you a power or a mirror to come back as a without overwhelming power or a mirror. He comes back as a 25k attacker basically, because more often than not we're gonna have 5 cards or more in our warp. If we have 3 or more cards in our warp, he gets 5k. 5 or more cards, he gets 10k, and that's a constant, that's a permanent feature he's got. So if you don't overwhelm him, if he stays on the field, then you always have this 25k attacker. So this is why we still run Killer Sword Trunks sort of for power or a mirror, but of course we can bring other cards back with Killer Sword Trunks as well, which is also good. Super combo, we can bring back maybe a Kaba, we can bring back a Bodyguard Logic. There's a lot of different options that we can do. We could bring back one of the smaller trunks here that we are using to Xeno evolve into Killer Sword Trunks as well. Plus, let's not forget that he's still got a very cool artwork. Let's appreciate that for a second. Okay, moving on. Killer Sword Trunks, good combo with power or a mirror, but Trunks powers or Seeing Time gives anything back to our hand from our warp. So all the super combos can come back, all the counters can come back, anything. You can basically fetch anything back with so Trunks power, which makes him very flexible. The only thing is that also goes in the favor of Trunks power or Seeing Time is that you can drop him in turn 2. Whereas Killer Sword Trunks, you're not gonna get to 4 mana, you're not gonna get to 4 chi before turn 4. We're not accelerating here, so that's something you gotta bear in mind. This is why I'm also looking to bump him down to 2 copies, but I will still run the 2 copies anyway, because I think he's a must-be run in this type of deck. Because don't forget, you know, games can draw out a little bit. Mira from the Darkness. And everybody should know this combo by now, really, who plays with the Masked Saiyan. You run Mira from the Darkness, you run your 4 Furthering Destruction Champa. You do that so you can obviously combo with him in your first turn. So what you first do, you start a game, Masked Saiyan, you mill 3 cards, hopefully he gets critical. And then you attack with the Masked Saiyan, you combo with Furthering Destruction Champa, so he gets plus 10k and double strike, so you get into a double strike critical, so you get in 2 damage that your opponent doesn't get to get into their hands from their life. And then you come in with the 4 cards you got in your drop zone. You overround for 4 with Mirror from the Darkness. He gets a critical as well because you overround him for free, for 4 cards, sorry. And then he hits him for another 20k with another critical. So you should be getting in 3 damage, 3 critical damage in your first turn in this game, which is crucial because it doesn't allow your opponent to awaken just yet, but you already got in 3 damage and he doesn't get the cards into their hand, which is super crucial, super crucial. And I totally love this combo, by the way. It's amazing. And a lot of the times, like, what I would do is when you get your opening hand, you always hard mulligan for these 2 cards. Always try and get these 2 cards in your opening hand because it's totally worth it. And then we got a little bit of removal power, a little bit of self-awakening power in the form of increasing evil Masked Saiyan. Again, I think this card has an amazing artwork. Again, gotta be appreciated. It's super cool. What he allows us to do is that when we overwhelm him for 4 and 1 chi, basically you choose 1 card in your life, add it to your hand, so you get some card advantage, helps with self-awakening if you need that. And you choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or less and send it to their warp. This is very crucial that he sends it to the warp. There's a lot of the issues that I see with the decks, even if you look at the other, like, you know, tier 1 decks in this game. There is a lot of removal power, but everything is sent into the drop zone. Now, if you're playing against Masked Saiyan, you're completely screwed because we're not going to leave a lot of the cards on the field. A lot of our cards are black. They're going to go into their warp. We're manipulating our warp, which is super, super crucial. All their removal power is basically gone to waste because they can't really do anything with our guys. All we have is the Masked Saiyan sitting out most of the time, and he's absorbing the attacks, and you can just use your cards to power him up, and that's their only way to get to us, by attacking the Masked Saiyan. Arguably, you could play 3 increasing evil Masked Saiyan. It's definitely not a bad thing to have 3 of them. But if you can, if you play 3 Trunks POT, then we should be able to bring him back from our warp if we need to. And then down to the super combos, we have 4 Supreme Kai of Time, as you would your black super combo. Probably one of the best super combos really in the game. Definitely up until till set 3, I think he's very, very cool. So what he does is, obviously, if you have 5 or more cards in your warp, which you will definitely have by turn 2, you could maybe, but you will get to 4 cards in turn 1 if you get the combo in that I just shown you. So from turn 2 onwards, you are able to super combo for 3. You get a 10k bonus, and you draw a card off her as well. So that's very sweet. And then we run the 4 Goku for our pseudo super combo. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as a Supreme Kai of Time, except that it costs 1 chi. To be able to super combo with him. It says, you know, if you evolve this card or you combo with him, you get to draw 1 card. So it would be crazy not to run it. You really want to have 10k combo cards so you can um, combo off in the crucial moment. So this is it for my red black Masked Saiyan deck. The only thing I would say is it might be worthwhile to maybe cut 1 or 2 red cards from this deck and just up a little bit more on the black card count, just so you get a better time, an easier time to get the critical for the Masked Saiyan. That's the only thing that I'm still kind of working on. I'm not gonna go into any sideboard card options at this point in time. If you want to see what my side deck is, then make sure you leave a comment down below and I might be able to do a video for you guys. But for now, peace out. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and Bust Saiyan signing out. Peace out, YouTube.